How can pregnant women prepare for a painless delivery process? Well, that's simple. It's by stretching the pelvic floor muscles that are going to be essential when it comes to having a painless birth and delivery process. Now, painless is different from pain-free, and obviously pain-free means that there's no pain at all, but a painless delivery process simply means there is less pain, and you can actually program your birthing experience to have less pain by involving some of these stretches throughout certain periods and portions of your pregnancy process and labor. So let's talk about a few of them and I'll demonstrate. The first one I want to show you is what's called a goblet squat. So what we'll do is we want to squat down and get low. As we begin to feel the stretch in our inner thigh muscles, this is going to be a really deep stretch. Now, everyone's going to have a different stretching capacity depending on how active you've been previously. But once you start to feel that stretch, you can understand that you're feeling the stretch in the right areas when you know that it's the inner thigh and right in that inner groin area. We want to stretch those muscles out. This is also called a sumo squat, where we get in a really wide stance and we want to stretch those muscles out. Now, one of the things about stretching that we have to keep in mind is that we want to do something that's a low load, long duration, meaning it's not too intense for us and we can actually be able to endure that position for a longer duration period. But if you're maybe new to stretching, one of the things that you can simply do is start with a shorter duration, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, things like that, and getting into that position. A deep squat is really going to help. Now, there are other ways and other things that we can also do. We can do one of the easiest things that people might enjoy doing, which is while they're actually sitting, being able to elevate one of their legs. And there are a couple of different ways that you can do this. It may be difficult at different positions and also of different heights of surfaces, but being able to stretch out that hamstring area and that groin area is going to be very important, because we can really get and target some of those pelvic floor muscles by elevating our leg. And this is something that we can do without having to be too physically active, and we can feel that stretch right there as we're in that position. But we can also make this even more specific and targeted to the pelvic floor by doing some forward leans. And if we actually get a little bit closer, and again, if you have a height or a surface of a different height, that's going to affect how you're able to put your leg on there, if you are able to put your leg on there. But one of the things that you want to understand is the concept is more important than the actual, the parameters that we might be using here. And so you want to feel that stretch there. It's going to be really helpful for you in that context. And then we can do some other stretches that are maybe a little bit more active or engaging or require something from us. So for some pregnant women, being on the floor can be difficult, but if you're able to, and at different points in the pregnancy journey, getting on the floor and going into a wide stance child's pose, where we have those knees nice and wide, and we want to shift our weight back to really open up that pelvis. Now, as we stretch out the pelvis, we don't just think about the muscles, we want to think about the joint itself, stretching out the pelvis. Now, your hormones, the progesterone, the relaxin are going to already be helping to loosen up ligaments to prepare for the expansion process as you've gone throughout the pregnancy. But doing this simple, basic exercise, knees nice and wide and stretching out, can be very helpful. Now, again, I'm showing different exercises that are going to really help prepare for the delivery process being painless, meaning having less pain. And these are different exercises so that whichever ones feel best for you and are more realistic for you are the ones you're gonna do, right? Not every exercise is for everyone, and not every exercise is for everyone at all times. At different points in your pregnancy, at different points in the journey, it's going to be more advisable to do exercises that are comfortable and that are feasible. So getting off the ground may not be as easy in the later trimesters compared to others. But so you have options like that. Now, one of the other ways that we can do this exercise or do an exercise like this is if we're here, we can put our foot simply on a chair and lean, stretching that pelvis. So there are a couple of ways we can do this. We can lean and really stretch that pelvis out. And we can really support ourselves with the chair. We're gonna feel that stretch in the inner pelvis region here. It's a really great way to stretch out. right? And this can be done pretty easy. Again, a little bit more active, just depending on how comfortable you feel. It's different than the sitting exercise where we're sitting down and we can just simply prop our leg up, right? Propping our leg up can be extremely easy and comfortable because we don't have to do as much. And there are other things that we can really do while we're actually just sitting in that resting position that's helping to stretch out. So hopefully you found this video helpful and informative when it comes to some of the stretches that you can do. Now, I want to show you just a couple of other ones that are going to make a very big difference for you that you can do in different ways. So again, getting on the floor is one option, but being able to stretch those hip flexor muscles and stretching out that pelvis, getting this kneeling position and stretching out just like so can be a great one. And the great thing about this is this can really help with back pain. So again, we're going to have different degrees of motion when it comes to how far we lunge, but it's not so much about how much motion you have, it's about how much you actually feel a stretch. So keep that in mind. And again, we want to think about holding for a low load in terms of the intensity as far as how intense it is, but a good long duration and repetition is always going to be helpful. So the simplicity of some of these exercises that you can be able to do them consistently, and you don't have to do all of them. Choose the ones that feel best for you, and maybe you only do one, but you're able to do it more consistently. And because of that consistency and the simplicity of the exercise, you're able to get more results because of that. So this is a great one, stretching out that hip flexor just like so. You can also do this on a chair. So another great way to be able to do this, let's show you this way. You can put it on a stool, and what we're doing is we're targeting this muscle here. So as we're right here, we stretch, all right? And this can really help relieve back pain and some of the issues that actually are underlying why there's back pain. Stretching out some of the muscles that really become tight during the pregnancy is important. And so those are a couple of great exercises to do. If you found this video helpful, like it and leave a comment. Let us know what you found most helpful about it. You can also save it and share it with somebody who can benefit from this and give some of these exercises a try. And if you want more specific guidance, you can always hit the link in our description to talk to a PT first for some free help and assistance on your specific questions that you might have. And we love hearing about the things that this helped you to be able to do as you implement some of these exercises. So subscribe to the channel because we make videos to help you discover the wealth that starts with your health by helping you to stay healthy, pain-free, fit, and mobile. And we'll see you in the next video. Dr. Toby here, signing off.